And lastly for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd money. Mayweather and Terence "Bud" Crawford came close to a face-to-face clash live right after. Crawford's impressive win over Canelo Alvarez. Security intervened quickly as entourages collided, and for a moment, boxing's past and present seemed ready to explode in the ring. No punches were thrown, but the tension spoke volumes. Floyd, the legend, faced off with today's dominant force, Crawford, leaving everyone questioning, was this real animosity or Floyd keeping his spotlight alive? After Bud's victory over Canelo, many in the boxing world feel Crawford's legacy may have surpassed Floyd's. Fueling all this drama.
Go the road, you see? I mean, yeah. And not knocking the guys that paved the way. And I want to come on record and say, I'm appreciative for guys like Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. So many guys that paved the way for me. But there's only one Floyd Mayweather. These fighters are not better than me. You look at the numbers, they say, oh, Canelo may end up beating more world champions than Floyd Mayweather. Wait, he should? With almost, 80 and 90 fights, he should? Mm-hmm. I beat more world champions than any fighter in history. I'm 50-0, but half of my fights was world.
Floyd Mayweather ruled as boxing's pound-for-pound king, calling himself TBE the best ever. He retired at 50-0, undefeated, never beaten or knocked down, with wins over Pacquiao, Cotto, Canelo, and De La Hoya. But Crawford has now shifted that narrative.
Thank you, GOAT, because you are the GOAT of this era. Terence "Bud" Crawford.
He's now a three-time undisputed champion, still unbeaten, and has excelled across 5 weight classes. Unlike Floyd, who some critics say chose safer fights or faced legends, past their peak, Bud confronted the top boxer in his prime division and emerged victorious.
If you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference.
Max Kellerman highlighted it clearly. Floyd picked the timing and opponents that worked for him, while Crawford remained ready to face anyone, anytime. That distinction makes all the difference.
Emphasis on the fact that Bud was in fact outboxing him in the first half of the fight. It is one of the biggest wins in boxing history. And now let Uncle Max gather around, children, and I will explain this. This is the situation, guys. No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing. And he did.
The numbers are close and the resin's elite. But Crawford's readiness to take real risks sets him apart. And that's why the boxing world is talking. Has Crawford just eclipsed Floyd Mayweather in greatness?
Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
To see why this debate is so heated, we need to go back to the Canelo fight. Before it, the consensus was clear Crawford was just too small.
Canelo.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
Moving up 2 full weight classes to face a natural 168-pounder like Canelo Alvarez seemed insane. But Bud didn't just survive, he outboxed him decisively. Crawford circled, jabbed, countered, and methodically broke Canelo down. While Canelo landed some heavy body shots, none shifted the momentum. By round 7, Crawford was trading in the pocket and winning exchanges. By round 12, it was clear, and the judges confirmed it with a unanimous decision. With that win, Crawford didn't just make a point, he made history. Becoming the first fighter to hold undisputed titles in 3 different weight classes.
Got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul, Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. You know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
In the process, he achieved something Floyd never tried, defeating a naturally bigger champion at that fighter's true weight. Many fans see this as fueling Floyd's reaction. Mayweather has always mastered controlling the narrative, building an empire around his money, persona, and flawless record.
150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
Now, all attention is on Crawford. Bud is hailed as the new pound-for-pound king, with analysts debating if he surpasses Floyd. Fans note he achieved what Floyd never attempted. Floyd isn't happy. He confronted the post-fight moment, threw shade, questioned Crawford's legacy, and even hinted at a potential matchup. He knows Crawford's win over Canelo overshadowed him and wants his spotlight back.
Feeling to be Chris Eubanks' trainer, first of all?
It feels good, man. You don't understand. I've been this trainer before, so
yeah, it's good.
It's a no-brainer.
Of course. Congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely that. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
What do you want to see Crawford do next?
Do what he at this point now in his career where he can do whatever he wanted to do.
Who would you like to see him fight? Any names? Is there any names in particular you'd like to see?
It doesn't matter.
What about Canelo? Would you like to see him retire?
I don't. Canelo's not my responsibility.
Okay.
Here's the key point. Terence Crawford doesn't need Floyd Mayweather. It's important for fans to understand Floyd often engages with fighters only when it benefits him. Crawford never aimed to challenge Floyd's legacy. He's always shown it respect. Crawford even trained with Floyd in the past, calling him an influence. Yet instead of praising Bud's historic win over Canelo, Floyd downplayed it, saying Canelo wasn't that impressive. That's classic Floyd, always protecting his spotlight. It's not just Crawford. Look at Gervonta Tank Davis. Floyd promoted him through Tank Up, but when Tank started forging his own path, Floyd criticized him to reclaim attention. Same pattern every time a fighter challenges his status, and Floyd shifts the narrative.
He gave you the spotlight, like why would he try to diminish your career? Because at that time, I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up mine. But it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept.
That's why fans call it jealousy. Crawford wasn't targeting Floyd, he was elevating the sport. But Floyd can't accept that someone else is now carrying the torch.
I thought Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
For years, Floyd's case was simple. He's the pay-per-view king, the biggest draw in boxing.
For the fight of the decade, I'm the fighter of the last century, honestly. and it's a reason why I'm the best fighter of the last 100 years. The credentials show it. And I went out there and showed it. What's better than going out there, being world champion for what, 20 years? Box office, I got the record. Pay-per-view, I got the record. It's better to win have 5 world titles than 4 at one particular time.
But now Crawford is proving he can match that. The Canelo fight wasn't just historic in the ring, it was a box office success. Netflix streamed it worldwide. The stadium sold out and millions tuned in, making it one of the most watched fights in the last 20 years.
Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
Crawford has shown he's more than the pound-for-pound best. He's the new box office king. He can fill arenas, generate pay-per-view revenue, and headline events globally.
Why were you so emotional afterward? Is it that you just realized everything that you achieved, the moment just hit you then?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's just, the history, behind the sport is just everything that, I trained for my whole life. It all was, coming out that one night. That was all paying off. You have a lot of people that, adopted this narrative that Terence Crawford can't sell, Terence Crawford is not marketable, and they push the narrative to the public, and that's all people write about. Oh, Terence Crawford can't do this, Terence Crawford can't do that. But any one of Terence Crawford fights, you see a sold out crowd, but they wasn't talking about that. They was talking about how, marketable I'm not, and that kind of was hurting my career because, a lot of people was looking at me and said, oh yeah, they said he's not marketable. Oh, they said he's not, don't have a personality, things like that, because I didn't want to do things their way. I didn't want to put on a show. I didn't want to disrespect my opponents when they wasn't disrespecting me. Right. I wasn't, I'm not a guy that, wear jewelry for no reason. I just the things that I didn't want to do that they wanted me to do. They go out there and say, oh, well, they lost money on me. It's just crazy though to see me headline, not one of the largest attending fight in American history. In American history.
That's why Floyd is unsettled, but isn't just dominating in the ring. He's dominating outside it too. Why is Floyd now hinting at a live fight with Crawford? The reason is simple: money and relevance. Though retired, Floyd hasn't left the spotlight, taking exhibitions against YouTubers, kickboxers, and MMA fighters to keep revenue flowing. But none of those fights carry true legacy. A bout with Crawford would be different. The ultimate showdown, undefeated legend versus undefeated king. Old school versus new school, TBE against a man now seen as greater.
How you is, you be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, bro. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight.
Yeah.
I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
But you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll be this. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
Floyd, it's a chance to cash in and reclaim the headlines. That's why he's stirring controversy and almost confronted Crawford live. He's trying to lure Bud into one last mega payday. But Crawford isn't interested. Bud has always respected Floyd, calling him a legend, but he's never sought a fight with him, and for good reason. Fighting Floyd adds nothing to Crawford's legacy. Floyd is 48, long past his prime, and hasn't competed at the top level in nearly a decade. If Bud wins, critics would dismiss it as beating an older fighter. If Floyd wins, it would be seen as a fluke. Either way, Crawford's legacy gains nothing.
I know. And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
No friends in this business for you. I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Beat your...
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
That's why Bud isn't pursuing Floyd. He's focused on his own legacy, defending his title, moving up to middleweight, or retiring undefeated. For him, fighting Floyd isn't about history. It's just business. Bud has never chased clout. In reality, Floyd is stirring controversy to sell a fight that only benefits himself. Crawford sits at the top, a boxing legend, while Floyd hunts one last spotlight. Their near brawl wasn't real animosity, it was promotion. Floyd knows controversy sells, debates spark, clips go viral, and his name returns to headlines. But Crawford doesn't need Floyd. He's already surpassed him in the eyes of many.
They were saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10.
top 10
or top 15, easily, you know? There's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks, you know? But the punching, the output that he was giving Canelo definitely gave him the win.
The real fight isn't in the ring, it's the narrative. Floyd's legacy versus Crawford's. The old GOAT versus the new king. After Crawford's win over Canelo, the torch has officially passed, whether Floyd accepts it or not. Floyd Mayweather nearly squared off with Terence Crawford live, but the bigger story isn't the scuffle, it's the legacy battle. Crawford defeated Canelo, became undisputed in 3 weight classes, and is hailed as the pound-for-pound #1. He's selling out arenas, dominating pay-per-view, and many believe his legacy now surpasses Floyd's. Floyd, meanwhile, is driven by jealousy, seeking the spotlight for money and relevance rather than legacy. Crawford doesn't care. He's already made history, and fighting Floyd adds nothing to his story. The question is, should Crawford respond to Floyd's calls or focus on his own future and leave the drama behind?